on, movie lovers? Welcome to Apocalypse Movies. I'm Jacob Bartley. This is Gio Ramos, and this is our spoilers discussion and review for the movie Split.
Unbreakable!
M. Night Shyamalan film Split. If you clicked on this video, it says spoilers. So sorry if Gio just spoiled something for you, and I said it that it's a spoiler review and discussion, but it's a review also with heavy emphasis on the ending of the film, the reveal, if you will, and what that means for this movie and any future M. Night Shyamalan films that have anything to do with Split or, like Gio said, Unbreakable. So let's get into it real quick, just a review on the film, because we have not put out an official review yet, and we figured there's no point to put out a non-spoiler review at this point, because everyone has already put out their reviews, and this is just to give our thoughts on the movie in general, what that ending reveal means, and what it can mean for potential future films. So let's just talk about just Split as a film first. What did you think of it? And including the ending too, that's the film. So
there's so much good about this movie.
Yeah.
First of all, forgive M. Night Shyamalan, okay? Because right now he's doing really good things. I think we could both agree this is one of the best psychological thrillers / horror / spoiler, right?
Yeah.
Superhero origin movies in recent years. Like, I'm so blown away by this movie. It's so good. Like, it's just the performances were great. James McAvoy. Does this movie make him eligible? Would it have made him eligible for an Oscar nomination for this year?
No, for next year.
For next year, they'll probably forget about it. But
and that's what's so unfortunate, because I can't see 5 other performers outperforming James McAvoy this year.
What he did,
let's just compare it to the nominations this year. I would say arguably he's better than most of the people that got nominated this year.
Yeah.
So, just to put it in perspective.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are scenes in this movie where, where he's sitting down with a therapist, and the therapist calls him out, and they're like, I want to speak to the real.
Yeah.
And then he
changes facial expressions.
He changes everything. This movie's so good, man. And just, the way the movie ends, there are points in the movie where you're just like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is James McAvoy all of a sudden this beast who can take a shotgun blast
or crawling on walls, crawling on the ceiling?
This movie got way out of hand.
Ripping stomachs open and eating them and pulling bars apart. And
then you find out this is in the same universe as Unbreakable. Bruce Willis, his David Dunn character, Sam Jackson's Mr. Glass, they're all a part of this universe.
Yes.
It explains why this supernatural, all this stuff, this crazy things are happening. And it's amazing, dude. It changes the movie. This ain't an ending that is just thrown in there. It completely changes the whole movie, and it's incredible. It's brilliant.
It's not like, spoiler for The Incredible Hulk of 2008. It's not like The Incredible Hulk when Robert Downey Jr. shows up. That doesn't change the whole movie. That doesn't change the whole perspective of the movie. Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable showing up at the end of Split changes your perspective of the whole entire movie of Split, because this character, the beast that you hear about in the trailer, turns into this super powered being that can't get stabbed with a knife breaks when it touches his skin.
Yeah.
He gets shot several times with a shotgun and is barely affected by it. And you're like, what the hell? That's a little too far. I get we're talking about psychological split personalities to where your body changes when you're in a certain personality, but that's taking it a little too far. That's a little far-fetched. But then you realize it exists within this Unbreakable universe, and the significance of that is at the end of Unbreakable, Mr. Glass, Samuel L. Jackson's character, is explaining to Bruce Willis that, and he's been keeping track of all these super-powered beings that live on Earth. And he explains to the Bruce Willis character that they exist out there. So James McAvoy's character, Kevin, and then all the other personalities, is one of these superpowered beings. And this is a super villain origin story. And this is such a monumental feat in film if you think about it. When I first came out of this movie, I wasn't sure how I felt, because I wasn't able to process that information that quickly.
Nobody was expecting.
What does this mean that it's involved in the same Unbreakable world? Mm-hmm. I didn't know how to process it at first, so I liked the movie coming out of it. But thinking about it over these last couple days, I love it. It's a great film. When you can, so if you've seen Split, think about it this way. Let's say Unbreakable was the first movie. Like Bruce Willis's character is the main superhero of this universe, right? Like the Iron Man, or if you're the Captain America or the Superman, whatever. And then the second film in this shared universe franchise is about the big supervillain that he's going to eventually fight. And this is just a supervillain origin story. And if you look at this character, it's a great character. The character of Kevin, or whatever you want to call him, Dennis, or the Nun, or the Beast, or Hedwig, whoever you want to call him. But the regular guy's name is Kevin, right?
Yeah.
So,
and what makes this movie this supervillain origin movie so great is that there are moments when you care about this character.
Exactly.
When he turns into Kevin, he
asked the girl to kill him.
Yeah, he doesn't know for the last 2 years, since 2014, where he's been.
So you kind of sympathize for him in a little bit. And then you get a piece of his childhood when his mother abused him, which forced his personalities to come out. Yeah. So, like, just think about, no villain in our superhero movies gets treated with and gets this much backstory and this much development. You know, very few. Like, you could argue, like, Loki maybe gets that development. Yeah. But, like, if you're just looking at this character, he gets so much development. You understand how he became this way, and you also empathize for him, which is crazy to empathize for a character like this. And then also Anya Taylor-Joy's character. Yeah. First of all, she was great in this movie. I saw her in The Witch earlier this year, and she was really, really good. The best part of that movie. Yeah. But she was great in this movie. It's not easy to portray some of these emotions that she's portraying in this film, and the facial expressions that she gives. When he first gets in the car at the beginning of the film, when she's looking at him like, what the hell?
It's a slow motion, and like, intense moment.
During the time when they're locked up, there's some of the emotions that she's portraying, and then at the end, when the cop drops her off at her uncle's house, and if you've seen the movie, you know her uncle's been abusing her all of her life sexually, so that face that she looks, it's kind of the same look she gives James McAvoy's character when he gets in the car. Like, it's like, what the hell? Like, and that kind of leaves you hanging there. So it's like, this movie opens up the door for a potential third film in this franchise, if you will, where you get to expand on her character, see Bruce Willis come back, and then have Bruce Willis and the Beast maybe fight. I'm imagining them fighting. Like, I feel like, wouldn't Bruce Willis's character, like, take him down easily? But I'm not so sure, like, because Bruce Willis's character is just unbreakable. But, like, that doesn't mean that I don't know, can his fists, like, damage the Beast that bad? I mean, shotgun bullets didn't do it, so I don't know where he's going with this, but I'm super excited for the possibility of a sequel, and it made $40 million over the weekend. It's getting a sequel.
It's going to happen.
It's getting a third film in this series for sure.
Yeah.
But, like, I just want to talk about, let's say hypothetically that it wasn't tied into the Unbreakable world. What do you think of the film when you think of it that way?
I thought it was good up until the ending. I think, but without that reveal, this movie needed that reveal, because without that, you think about, okay, what about what's her name?
Anya Taylor-Joy's
character. Like, what about her development? Like, she gets as much as James McAvoy, but there are still, like, big holes left in there.
Oh, like, because the reveal kind of opens up the possibility for a sequel, and you're like, okay, I want more.
Yeah, I want more of her character. Like,
it's kind of a cliffhanger with her character.
Yeah, because you see her get abused by her uncle in very inappropriate and disturbing ways, and then you see her father die, and then she goes to her uncle, but
and we don't know that she's still living with him until the very end.
Right?
Setting that up earlier in the film, and to find out that she's still staying with him and he's going to pick her up, it's like, it messes with you. Like,
yeah,
shit,
but
that
there,
sucks.
The thing is that there wasn't any real closure
Yeah,
to her.
true,
It just kind of left it like, okay,
like if that was the last time we see her, that's disappointing. You know?
Yeah. It's an open ending.
Yeah.
It can go several places. That's why I'm really hoping her character comes back.
Oh, I think she will. I
Um,
think they set that up that way.
Yeah, but without the to answer your question, without the ending, it kind of would have just been a good movie based on the performances, the development of character, and just the overall the switching of tones from one part to another, to one genre to another.
Yeah,
It was well done.
I think it still would have been a good movie because the whole time this doctor character is trying to explain that like these people have the ability to unlock these like powers through their mental illnesses,
Through their beliefs, yeah.
through their beliefs, and they believe that they're super strong, so their strength is maximized because they're within a personality that thinks that it's super strong.
Oh, yeah.
So like they kind of set it up a little bit, and earlier in the film, when one of James McAvoy's personalities is talking about the beast, he says that it can crawl on walls, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's acceptable that it can.
We
crawl
weren't
on
taking
walls.
it literally, like
Yeah,
this
exactly.
guy can crawl.
I mean,
We
they
just
show
thought-
him
we
crawling
just
on
thought this guy was
walls,
crazy.
show him crawling on the ceiling, shot with a shotgun, rip jail bars apart, and then I want to talk about what did you think about the reason he let her go? Because she's pure in his eyes, meaning she's a damaged soul. So because of that, he didn't kill her. Like, what did you think of that?
I like that. I like that because it gives James McAvoy's character, the Beast, he's not.
He has some type of values.
He's not
in a way.
completely insane.
Yeah, exactly.
This guy has beliefs. What would you say? What do you call that?
I guess you can call it values in a way.
Yeah,
rules.
For lack of a better term,
He has
values.
limitations. He's not just going to kill anyone and eat anyone. He only kills people who never struggled in their life, who aren't damaged souls.
And we see this connection throughout the film between her character
and Hedwig, the boy,
Hedwig,
too.
and to some extent Dennis, but and then you see that she has scars on her. She's damaged, but she's strong. She grew from that, Look at her leading the charge against these two ladies, they have no idea what they're doing.
Exactly.
Right?
Like this movie, the more and more you think about it, and I definitely think it needs a second or third viewing. I'm definitely going to see it again.
Yeah,
but the more and more you think about it, there's so much things that set up the whole film. Like she's wearing like 3 shirts.
There's hints.
If you notice that she's wearing the 3 shirts, and he even mentions it, like, "Oh, you wear a lot of shirts." Like, and he keeps having her take shirts off because he's like a clean freak, and she gets stains on her shirts. But why does she wear all those shirts? Because she has those scars. She's trying to cover that stuff up. So there's all these little hints leading towards the finale of the film, and this is one of Shyamalan's best films. Like I loved The Visit from last year. It was last year, right?
Last year, yeah.
It was almost in my top 10 films of the year last year. I absolutely love that movie. But this movie is probably even better without the connection to Unbreakable and tying into that superhero world and being a supervillain origin story. Probably not. But because it is that, this movie is phenomenal. Like the more I think about it, the more I love it. And I am so happy for M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah,
because
his comeback's complete.
We were kids when his first movies came out, when Sixth Sense came out, when Unbreakable came out, when Signs came out. Those were great films, and we grew up watching them, and I love Signs, and I really liked Unbreakable as a kid. I didn't love Sixth Sense, but like it's still a great movie, for sure. So, and I think he has returned to form with The Visit and with Split. These are the type of movies that he needs to make, and I could not be happier for the guy.
Yeah,
honestly.
those smaller budget movies, like it gives him a little more creativity. It kind of challenges him in a way to kind of, to use his mind to cut corners and here and there, but to also just, with the smaller budgets, he can pretty much do whatever he wants.
Yeah. True.
His relationship with Jason Blum from Blumhouse
that's perfect.
It's so good, and I agree with you. I think this movie's great. It felt like a 10 Cloverfield Lane, where it came out of nowhere. It was unexpected. It was a confined story with strong characters. Overall, it was amazing. So I love this movie. I can't recommend it. See Split. See this movie.
Yeah, and it's really crazy. If you watch some interviews with M. Night, he wrote this character back when he wrote Unbreakable. He said he had a longer script for Unbreakable originally, and he wrote the Kevin character into the original Unbreakable script, and had him planned already. And he saved this character all these years and planned on bringing him up.
He felt like it was the right time.
So he's came out and said that Unbreakable was like the first act, and then Split is like the second act, and then we're gonna hopefully get a third act. Who knows what they're gonna call it? But I cannot be that. Movie will be one of my most anticipated with every year it comes out. I'm so excited. And given that this is a review, technically, even though we're just geeking out about how much we like it, let's give it a score out of 10.
I'm going to go 9.5 out of 10. 9.5. Again, those little... it's not a perfect film. The Anna... What's it? God,
I think it's Anya
Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Her character is her development, her arc isn't complete yet. You know.
Well, we can really judge her character in Split once we see the third film.
Right. Yeah. Like so, I'm sure it'll get better with the next movie, but there was still some plot holes left in it. But overall, man, dude, there's not that many weaknesses, especially because of that ending.
Exactly. I was really looking forward to this movie already, coming off of The Visit, and it just looked so crazy and creepy, and I love movies like that. So I was already looking forward to it, but I did not see this coming whatsoever. I did not see it coming. The Unbreakable tie-in. I had no idea.
Did.
So that just it exceeded my expectations. I thought I was going to enjoy this movie, maybe come out like giving it like 7.5 or 8 out of 10, but I'm going to go with a 9 out of 10 for Split, and that's a high score. Like I think this movie will stay in my top 10 of this year for a while. It will be tough to knock out. Like I enjoyed it so much, and the more I keep thinking about it every day, I enjoy it even more. Cannot wait to watch it again. All right, well that's going to do it for our Split spoilers discussion and review. I'm Jacob Bartley. This is Gio Ramos. We are Apocalypse Movies. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that like button. And you shouldn't be watching this review if you haven't seen Split, but go watch Split. Go watch Unbreakable again. Go watch Unbreakable and then watch Split again, and try to notice that score kick in near the end of the film when the Beast is talking to himself in the mirror. I'm going to definitely look for that again. And as always, thank you all for listening. Until next time, take care.